Hello, General Chemistry. This video is about naming covalent compounds. And when you compare the naming rules for covalent compounds to the naming rules of ionic compounds, they are much simpler. There are only 3 rules for naming. The first is that you use a prefix to indicate the count. Well, what does that look like? Let's see. Our prefixes are here. Mono, use mono if the count is 1, di for 2, tri for 3, tetra for 4, penta for 5, hexa for 6, hepta for 7, octa for 8, nona for 9, and deca for 10. These are it. If you memorize these, you're going to be able to name any covalent compound that I throw at you. So we use the prefix to indicate the count. Now there is an exception to that rule. If the first atom has a count of just 1, we drop the mono. We do not use the prefix for the first atom if there's only one of them. We just let it be. Whatever the atom is, that's what we call it. And lastly, we use an IDE ending. That's it. Those are all the rules. Not like complicated ifs and circumstances like in ionic compounds. This is it. So let's take a look at what that looks like. Here we have N2O3. Well, first, let's check the count. 2 nitrogen and 3 oxygen. For nitrogen, we're going to use a di, and for oxygen, we're going to use a tri. So let's take a look. We have dinitrogen, trioxygen. The third rule comes into play now. We always use that IDE ending, so it's dinitrogen trioxide. And there we go. That's our name for this formula. Let's check the next one. If they give us the name, tetraphosphor nonasulfide, we still need to look up the prefixes to determine the count. So tetraphosphor. So tetra is going to be 4 phosphorus, and nona is going to be 9 sulfide, 9 sulfur. So this is going to be 4 phosphorus and 9 sulfur. So let's put these in the right format. There we go. Tetraphosphorus nonasulfide. That's our formula. The next one. NO. Well, how many nitrogen? 1. But since it's the first atom, we drop the mono, so it's just going to be nitrogen. And how many oxygen? 1. So monoxide. Sometimes, if there are vowels that are next together, we smush them together. So instead of monoxide, we just say monoxide. Nitrogen monoxide. And lastly, sulfur hexafluoride. This is similar. We've got sulfur. They don't tell us how many there is. If they don't tell us the count on the sulfur, we can assume that it's 1. So this is going to be sulfur, fluoride, 6 of them, and reformat to the appropriate format. There we go. That's it. That's it for covalent naming. Remember those 3 rules. Remember your prefixes. You're good to go. I hope this helps. Struggle well.